souls that we're bringing to the light. From maps to Mars to the rigs we drive, we're talking to the folks who keep this farm life alive. It's Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Come pull up a chair and ride along with me. Stories from the makers, the builders of the scene. Farm Sim Talk, where we live the farming dream. He's got questions rolling like a big John Deere, digging deep with modders so their voices we can hear. From giants of the code to the artists painting skies, he's shining up their stories like a brand new combine. It's Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Come pull up a chair and ride along with me. Stories from the makers, the builders of the scene. Farm Sim Talk, where we live the farming dream. From tractors to textures, from silos to sounds, there's a whole crew of heroes making this world go round. So tune in and find out who's behind the screen. Farm Sim Talk's the place to see what farming really means. It's Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Come pull up a chair and ride along with me. Stories from the makers, the builders of the scene. Farm Sim Talk, where we live the farming dream.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is Farm Sim Talk, a show where we get to talk to other creators and find out just a little bit more about them. How's it going? Hope everybody's having a fantastic day so far. I see a whole bunch of you out there already. Thank you all for joining us here tonight. We got Joni, Ronnie Johansson, Benji, we got Gaming with JJ, Rusty Money Gaming, David, I think I said Benji already, Taco de Groot, we got Brady Rimmer Productions, Samuel Wilkinson, holy smokes, Midnight Rose, Why Not Gaming, thank you all so much. Dale Rogers, thank you all so much for coming out here tonight and hanging out with us. I am joined here by my guest tonight, Bruce's Gaming. Bruce, how are you doing tonight?
What's going on, everybody? Doing pretty good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem whatsoever. Really excited about the show here tonight. So, do you want to tell everybody where we can find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Bruce's Gaming on YouTube. I stream over there Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, a couple hours a day. So you can find me over there on YouTube. I got the link up on the channel, up on the page, and I see Brady posted it there just a little bit ago in the chat. Thank you very much.
Big shout out to Brady. Thank you so much, Brady. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. What about shout outs? Do you want to give anybody any shout outs?
Well, I want to Rusty and Why Not, man. They've been a staple for me for a while. I've known Rusty since I first started playing. Before I even started streaming, I used to catch him and another guy stream, him and Driver 52. Is it Driver 52 or Driver 54 or whatever his name is? It's been so long since I've seen Driver around. I don't know if he's even still doing it anymore.
Driver 53.
Driver 53. Well, I was right around all that. So, but yeah, those guys there, man, I met them playing the game, and yeah, pretty much those two guys that I could think of right off the bat. Because I see Rusty's here, gave me joy. He's been a big part of lately here. So, my big shout out to those guys. If I think of anybody later, I'll give them a shout out later too. If I can think of anybody else, I'm old, so I forget. I'm pretty forgetful.
No worries, no worries at all. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do here in the farm sim community?
Well, as I said, I'm old. I'm 50, 53. Some people ask me I'm 50 and I'm still playing a video game. Why? I said because I grew up playing video games, man. I started with the old ColecoVision, Atari, Pong, back in the 70s and all that stuff. I started off doing let's plays. I do live streams now. I do map tours pretty much. We get a new map. I do those map tours of those maps, PC or uh, console. Doesn't matter if it's out there. If and as long as it doesn't require 20 mods or so to play, I'm going to download it and try it out. So, but yeah, mainly that's what I do, man. I like to do like to do the map tours. If we don't have maps, then to tour, then I'm usually picking a map that I've been playing on, and that's what I do. Just stream, play, sit around and chat, talk with everybody. So that's pretty much me. I'm kind of laid back. We were kind of talking about that here before. So
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you for the introduction. Before
oh,
we get into
well,
this segment here, I want to give a big shout out to Ronnie Johansson gifting a membership to the BDD group here. Thank you so very much, as well as a $2 super chat. Lonnie, thank you. Lonnie and Ronnie. Whoo! There's a whole bunch of you going out there. And 1 month membership from Brady. Also saying if you have any questions, do that double question mark. It makes it a lot easier for us to find. Thank you all so very, very much. So here is our first segment. We call this one Digging Up Dirt. This is where we get to know who you are for your life outside of Farming Simulator. So first things first, do you have a job outside of your content creation, or is this your primary job?
I do not work. This is my primary job. I probably should have waited till it was done, but back in 2017, I had cancer and I tried to go back to work, and my work kind of screwed me over. So I decided to do this. Probably shouldn't have, but I'm trying it. Still trying to make it work. But that's me, man. I no work outside of this.
Okay. So, I mean, that's great that it sounds like you had cancer and you got, not great that you had cancer, but you got, through it.
Right.
So congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you.
So, do you have any hobbies outside of Farming Simulator? Do you like to go hiking, fishing, watch sports,
Uh,
television?
I love to watch TV. Used to be a big sports fan. Uh, since I'm in Pennsylvania, I'm in Western PA. So Steelers, Pirates, Penguins, those are my teams. I don't really watch baseball much. Used to watch football religiously, and then when I started my channel, I usually was playing and gaming on Sundays, so I kind of missed out on that. And only having the one TV downstairs, my mom and I live together to make it easier for the bills. But thankfully, she likes to watch hockey. So when the Penguins play, we usually watch the Penguins. We only watched about half last season because their team kind of sucked last year, so we quit watching. But we're hoping that the season will get turned around this year. Other than that, that's it. When I have the money, I like to put Legos together. Big Star Wars fan, so I like to put the Star Wars ships together. Used to collect football and hockey cards. Back when eBay first come around, I used to buy cards, keep what I wanted, and I used to resell on eBay. Uh, the resale really you, I used to make enough money to where I could just all that money that I sold, I could put right back into it. So it fed the addiction, you could say, because to me, cards is like playing the lottery because you never know what you're going to get when you buy a box of cards. And it wasn't like when you go to a store, you buy a pack here, pack here. It was you buy a box here and a box here, and then you used to be able to go to Walmart. You can get your boxes there. You get to retail, and then you go on. You could go online. You find your hobby boxes online. You get them shipped to me, and but it's so expensive anymore. I can't afford to do it. So half the time I can't afford to eat. So, but it is what it is. That's me, man. That used to ride ATVs when I was younger. Live in a town now, so don't have an ATV to do that anymore. Um, with the onslaught of I'm a diabetic and the cancer, I've got neuropathy in my feet. So 90% of the time I can't feel my feet. So and I don't know if anybody's ever had that sensation. You know how when you sleep on your arm and your arm goes to sleep, it's my feet are like that all day. So
Oh wow.
other than that, that's me, man.
I mean, after listening to all that, I mean, it's one of those like I'm reading out of your same book there. I might be a few
I,
chapters behind, but I mean, I too collect hockey cards, so I know what it's like on that aspect. Do you have a
right.
particular brand that you tend to go out for, or?
Well, I used to upper deck mainly. We used to do upper deck a lot. And then Panini come around. Used and the Panini brand was pretty good. Tops, most of them name brand cards like that. I wasn't too picky as long as they had a nice deal. Used to search back when I first started. I collected Emmett Smith was my guy. I know he played for the Cowboys. Uh, and I used to root for the Cowboys just because Emmett Smith. His cards were one of the most valuable cards back in the 80s and the 90s when he was playing. So I went after him. I had a pretty good Emmett Smith card collection there for a while. And but as long as the cards were nice and they were reasonable, I would buy. I always was on a budget when I was buying and stuff like that. But usually was Upper Deck and Panini and Dunross Tops and all that. Panini and Dunross are the same company now, but
It's amazing, like the rabbit holes that you can dive into in regards to just the trade, like not the like people refer to trading cards nowadays as like the Pokemon and stuff like that, but like no, like the traditional like trading cards, like where you had like you said, the upper decks, the tops, the pinnacle, like the whole nine yards. There was
right.
so many different, like you can go down some deep rabbit holes
And
when it comes to all that.
uh Pokemon's a whole another story, man, because it those people are just as insane as the sports cards guys. There's a guy I watch on YouTube. He goes to the three stores, Target, Walmart, and a Meyer where he lives at in Michigan, and he goes and he videotapes all that on their restock days. And there's always a line of people there that get the new Pokemon. These people are fighting over the new Pokemon stuff that comes in. And there's like 3 or 4 people there for the sports cards, and all these people were there to hoard in the new Pokemon stuff. It's crazy. I'd never be that intense, and I don't like to go out in public too much anymore. So 90% of the time, I would buy all my cards online, and because I could buy them and I could have it here in 2 days where I'm at. So because of the place I bought for is they always shipped out real good. I could order Wednesday and I could have my cards Friday, which was great. I loved it. So I could go to work when I was working. I'd order Wednesday. Friday when I come home from work, the cards would be sitting there waiting on my porch.
No, I hear you there. It's funny because my brother-in-law, he actually had a YouTube channel there for a while, Forged TCG. He doesn't much keep up with it anymore, but he had showed a whole bunch of those types of hey, it's restock day, so the whole
Yeah,
line of people, like people would get into fights. He actually recorded somebody getting into a fight over these
that's
trading
funny.
cards. Like it is just ridiculous. Like, all right, people, calm down. I understand. They're
The
cards.
the Meyer store that guy goes to that I watched, they actually put a limit of 2 boxes per person.
Oh wow.
which yeah, and the prices of cards back when I quit collecting, the boxes that you could go and get at Walmart, they were only like $9. Now they're 30 and $40 for the same amount of cards.
Wow.
It's wow. I can't believe how much prices have gone up on trading cards. It's crazy.
Oh,
I
it's
can never
nuts.
afford to do it.
No, no. I mean, especially, I mean, you'd hope that you'd be able to pull cards where if you were just
Right,
not just collecting them, but actually like putting them back into recirc and
right.
doing all that stuff, that you'd be able to make some money back on it, kind of
And
thing. Or mm,
that's what I did when I collected. I would buy and I would keep what I wanted, and then mainly looking for the rookies to resell. I price them and put them back on eBay, sell them that way. Oh, sometimes you made money, sometimes you didn't. It was the luck of the draw buying a box. Like I said, it's just like playing lottery. To me, you can make more money buying cards than you could winning a lottery, because you know how it is with playing scratch offs. You could spend $300 and maybe only win 50. So
yep, yep. At least with the cards, you're guaranteed to make something. Might not be much, but
right,
something.
exactly. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you're into watching TV. What kind of TV do you like to watch?
Cop dramas. We like CSI, the Chicago's, the 911 shows we were big into watching, Star Trek on Paramount, Reacher on Prime, all those action shows and comedies. We watch them all. The only thing we don't really watch are horror movies. We've never been a horror movie buff, so it's always action comedy and the adventures and stuff like that.
My wife here recently has been watching this show called, I think it's called The Rookie, with
Oh, with with Nathan Fillion
yes, yep, that's it
played
exactly. Is
played
that
on Firefly. I've never
mm-hmm.
seen it. There's always something on when that's on, so we could DVR it, but we DVR so much stuff. Uh we watch a lot of HGTV also. So
So it's I've never watched it myself, but it's one of those where every time I walk through the room or something like that and she's got it on, I do tend to stop for a few seconds like, okay,
right,
this could be kind of cool. So
right.
maybe that'll be the next big hit for you down the line. So with
Yeah, we've
the
always been wanting to try it out. So
so with the amount of television you watch, what would you consider to be one of the oddest or weirdest TV shows that you've seen?
oh man, let me think. Oddest or weirdest.
And if you want, we can also expand this
Oh,
into movies or anything along those lines.
so one of the oddest ones, it made, was it 2 seasons on Prime? Was Open Range, I think was the name of it. It had James Brolin in it. It was very odd. Uh, it was where he played a rancher, and there was a big hole out in his one section of property, and if you fell in it, you went traveled through time and stuff like that. It was very strange. It was really good though. I'm telling you, it was you definitely had to pay attention to what was going on, or you'd be freaking lost. But it only made 2 seasons and they canceled it, and they left it on a cliffhanger, which we were very upset. But that have to be one of the strangest shows that I've watched, but it was really good.
So you mentioned that you were a Star Wars fan, correct?
Yep. Oh yeah.
So are you familiar with the kind of, how do I want to say this? Are you familiar with the dumpster fire that was the Star Wars holiday special?
Was it the cartoon
No.
or was it live
So
action?
this was a made for TV movie.
Oh, back in the 80s?
Yes.
Yes. I can it had Chewbacca in it, right?
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah,
kind of,
Jesus,
sorta.
I haven't. It's been so long since I've seen it, but I remember watching it.
So it's not very often that I actually get to talk to somebody who's actually seen it. But do you
Yeah.
remember the whole the basic overarching story behind it is that Han Solo and Chewbacca are off doing their doing their thing, and they're trying to get home to Chewie's home world where he is going to meet with his wife and kid, and I think it was the grandfather or something like that. Uh,
Okay.
and he's basically trying to make it back before their version of Christmas. Because that's
Okay.
the Star Wars
Yeah.
holiday special. There was
Right.
an entire scene where the Wookiees that are there at the house are sitting there speaking nothing but their native language for like
Yeah.
15 some odd minutes.
Yeah. It's
Like,
like I said, man. It's been so long since I've seen that, man. I don't even remember. I don't even remember it. I wonder if you can even find that on the internet.
oh, it's tough. It's really
Yeah.
tough, but every once in a while you can dig it up, and yeah, it's one of
Was
those that it
was some
had all the original cast in it. That was what was wild about it.
yeah, and like you said, it was the dumpster fire of Star Wars. They probably got it hidden, pulled from the scrub from the internet.
As best as they can. I think people are still
Exactly.
letting it live on, but it's tough.
Holy
It's
cow.
definitely tough. So, what would you do if content creation was no longer an option for you? Let's say, your system blew up, your computer, your
uh,
piece, your gaming station. What would you do in that case?
yeah, I don't even want to think about that. my my first PC was kind of small. The community kind of helped me build my PC that I have now. I bought everything and I put it together myself. They helped afford to get me from my PlayStation 4 to my first PlayStation 4 quit on me. I was able, luckily, the community helped out with that. I was able to get another PlayStation, and then I found the PlayStation 5. I paid more than I wanted for the PlayStation 5, but I got one. And then I'm here on PC. I told everybody that I wouldn't switch 100% from PlayStation. Sorry, Rusty. But I play mainly on PC now. I switched because I love forestry, and forestry so much better on PC. Plus the mining, I like to do the forestry and mining, but if anything happened to my PC or the PlayStation, I don't know what would happen. If one or the other went down, I could fall back to the other. So I don't have Farm Sim on my PlayStation, so if the PC went down, I'd have to go back to streaming something from the PlayStation 5. I do play other games. I have FS22 on the PlayStation 5, so I'd have to revert back to playing on the PlayStation. And then hopefully the community would help out with that, get me back on the PC. But I don't know. I don't even want to think of that, man. You know what they say? Uh, if you what's that saying about luck? If you didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's about 95% me, man.
Well, I see out there in the audience there, Rusty did a little hashtag there says, "We would help
I,
Bruce."
I see that. Thank you, Rusty.
I love it. It's one of the best communities out there, I tell you what. So, tell me, what kind of family dynamic do you have going on at home? Because you mentioned that you no longer work, that you do this full time. Um,
Right?
so, can you let us know what kind of family dynamic you have?
Uh, I'm not married. I have no kids. Uh, when after I finished my chemo, my mother had been living out in Wisconsin with my brother and his wife. She moved back right towards the end of my chemo and cancer stuff. I moved in with her eventually because I was when after my chemo and stuff, I went back to work. And then I tried working and I moved in with her. And then after the deal with work fell through, uh, I just live with her. She's retired, so we live off of her income. We get a little bit from the state to help with food, but what they give for us for food, it lasts like 2 weeks. So for the price of way food is anymore, it's crazy. But when I first started doing this, I started watching. I got the game FS19. I started making content, and I got thinking, well, I think I could do what these other guys do. It looks pretty easy. Well, needless to say, what you need to do to get monetized, and then to get monetized, after you get monetized, keeping the people watching, and hopefully you make enough money to get paid from YouTube. So,
I
but yeah,
gotcha.
uh, my dad passed away back in 2013, 2014, somewhere in there. So he's been gone a few years now. Uh, my sister lives in Florida, and my brother passed away a year ago after a complication from the shots. So he was the youngest of the three of us because he lived out in it was in Wisconsin, lived out near Winona, and yeah, but that's about it. And just mom and I here. I've got cousins that live close, so we see them quite a bit. Got an aunt, aunt and uncle we see every now and then from my dad's side of the family. The other aunt and uncle we don't see much, but all my grandparents are gone. You know, I am 50, like I said, 50, 53, so 54, 54. Holy cow. Hard to believe. But anyway, yeah, that's about it. Family dynamic. My mom and I get along real well. We always have. So
Gotcha, gotcha.
one of
So,
one of these days I want to be YouTube millionaire so we can have our own house and stuff like that. But
oh, maybe one of these days you keep up the hard work and you'll
trying,
get
man,
there.
trying.
You'll get there. So you mentioned how you like to kind of stay around, the home and whatnot. Did you at any point in your life did you like to travel or go out and about places?
Yeah, when I used to when I lived by myself before all the cancer stuff, I like I said I used to I like to watch movies. So weekends was movie days. So if there was a new movie to come out, I was up. I went to Walmart, got all my groceries. Usually would be at the movie theater, opened at usually 10. Get there $3 matinee or five. It was $5. Get in for the movie for $5. Get a drink for $5. So it's $10 for the movie. Eat breakfast. I used to do that, and let's see. We used and I drove truck for a couple years, way back before all this happened. I liked it. I got to see a lot of the country, which was kind of nice. Mm, but I worked at a lumber mill for 20 years. That's what I run a forklift at the lumber mill. I love my job and sucked having to give that job up the way I did. So other than that, I don't go out. We don't have a car. I had to get rid of my car when I quit when my lost my job and stuff. So couldn't afford to keep the vehicle. So luckily where we live at, we've got a Dollar Tree that's 2 blocks away, and our pharmacy is 2 blocks away, and we've got a grocery store that's like 4 blocks away. So
I gotcha. So it sounds like you got pretty good structure right there where you're at, so you're not having to
yeah,
travel too far.
right. Yep, exactly.
That's good. That's good that you're able to get that kind of setup.
Yeah.
So back in those times when you did like to travel or when you did go out and about, was there a specific place that you like to go above all else, or?
Well, yeah, like I said, usually the movies go to Walmart, or Walmart's. Well, where I live at now, it's a 10-minute drive. Before it was when I was working, it was a 30-minute drive. So other than that, that was about it. The Walmart and the movies was about the biggest place that I ever really went. Since I live in Western PA, every now and then back when we were younger, we would go to Erie, Pennsylvania, which is an hour and a half away from me. Uh, we used to go there once a month when we were younger, but it's well populated now and overgrown since we started going there, and it just got too. There's just way too many people around for me, man. I can't ever since having the cancer and going through the chemo. I can't stand being around people out in public. People, 90% of the people around they're really rude and inconsiderate. That's just it's just the way it is anymore. It sucks.
Now, if I remember my general geography, Erie, isn't that up towards like the like
Lake.
northwestern portion, like right up by the
Yep.
lake?
Yep. Yeah, Lake Erie up there. That's why it's called Lake Erie because of Erie. Yes, gaming with JJ. I know you told me not to read comments, but I just happened to see JJ's comment about the forklifts. Yeah, I can't stand the forklift mechanics in the game. Sucks.
Uh, yeah, I could see that that'd be something that would be kind of bothersome. It's like, hey,
Oh,
I've done
it
this,
it
for a
it
significant portion of my life, and it doesn't add up at all.
it bugs the hell out of me when you go to try to pick a pallet up. You stack another pallet on top of one another, and the minute you pick it up, that top pallet goes flying, or the forklift goes flying 3/4 of the way across the map. It's just stupid, you know.
You
I
gotta
can't
gotta
stand it. That's why I'm on PC. I use Universal Auto Load. Even I've tried using. Well, the other day in the live stream, I tried using a telehandler to pick a couple things up, and it did not go well. So,
you gotta love when you're sitting there playing the game and you expect it to do one thing, and then all of a
right?
sudden either you go rocketing across the map for no
Yep.
explicable reason whatsoever, or just insert any kind of crazy nonsense that happens throughout the tenure of farm sim. It gets
Right.
wild, absolutely wild. So let me ask you this: what would you say kind of inspires or motivates you in life?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't really just maybe getting up every day and being able to do what I do, thankful to be able to stream every day for everybody, I don't know that I know when I don't stream, it kind of makes me feel bad that I'm not able to stream, and I know everybody misses the when I don't stream and stuff like that. So probably the streaming aspect. I think to get up and stream for everybody because I like streaming over making content. I can't stand. I suck at editing, and I know they say practice makes perfect. Well, there ain't no perfection for me when doing it. That's why when I record the way I do. That to do the least amount of editing, record a part, clip it out, stop, record more. Yep, come back in, cut scene. Put an ending on it, put a thumbnail. Boom, there we go. Operator error, no Rusty.
What's one thing that people are generally surprised to find out about you?
Problem my age. I would have to say the age question. How old are you? In when that ever would come up, I would say I'll give you three questions and then give you three options you could suggest how old I am and see if you can find it. So most people say I don't sound uh as old as I am, but yeah. Hey, thanks. Why not? Yeah, I would say that would be it. The age question. People are always shocked to find out how old I am.
And what would you say is one of your biggest fears that keeps you up at night?
uh, Probably losing internet. The internet would go down. Not having the internet.
Well, I
True,
mean,
true.
all things considered, yeah, that'd definitely be a nightmare
But
to worry about.
not being able to probably not being able to make content for everybody and and play video games and talk to my friends on the internet. I don't have any friends in real life, so all the people that are so-called friends in real life haven't seen since 2017. So
Oh wow. Well, I mean, that is the wild thing about, doing the content creation and like you and I do is you get to meet a lot of people.
Exactly.
Get to talk to them, you get to, experience so much uh in the position that we're in, and it's you and I were talking prior to the stream going live, and I'd mentioned how I truly believe that this is one of the best communities that we have like created within the
Yeah.
realm of Farming Simulator. It's just the people are fantastic, and yeah, it's incredible. So I could completely understand. It's like, oh hey, the internet's down now. I have no means of being able to you know be around these individuals that I've spent so much time with. So
Yeah.
that's definitely a fear that would be something to worry about. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, do you own any pets?
No, we do not. Uh, it would cost us another, I, I want to say another $75 a month rent if we added a pet. 75 or $100 if we had a pet. And not that we wouldn't mind having a pet, having a dog or a cat would be kind of nice. I'm more of a dog person, but we don't have a very big yard, and having you to let the dog out, you'd have to take him for a walk, and then you gotta clean up after him and all that stuff. Not like when you live when we used to live at home, you had 2 acres of land. If you had a dog, you hook him out on a runner, and he went out and he did his business in the yard. He come back, you brought him in the house. So,
Yep, exactly. No, I hear you there.
but no pets. Not that I wouldn't mind it, but we can't afford 90% of the time to keep food in the freezer for us, let alone having to feed a dog and then vet bills and stuff like that. So
I gotcha. And then, who would you say, or do you watch a lot of YouTube or anything like that?
yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube. Uh, uh, Benji hamburgers and pizza. Chocolate, lots of chocolate. uh, let's see. Like I said, I like to play a lot of other video games, so I watch content for my other video games. I like to play Division 2, Destiny 2. Destiny 2 just had a big DLC, so Towboat and I have been playing it like crazy. We actually were up all night last night. We played all night. And I didn't lay down. I lay down in the afternoon, so I slept for 6 hours this afternoon. So I knew I was going to be doing this, so I needed that sleep because we'll be playing again tonight. But I watch a lot of you, like I said, watch a lot of YouTube, watch a lot of the other content stuff. Try to catch Why Not when he's live. Dale puts out videos lately. Benji's putting videos out. Rusty. Josh, I like to watch Josh and his live streams. Especially, I enjoy his Roadcraft series that he's got. So when when I'm up and around, because sometimes he goes live a little earlier, but it's good. And he's been busy lately. But I like I said, I watch a lot of YouTube. When I'm watching TV downstairs, I'm watching TV on the TV, and I'm watching YouTube on my phone. And I'm probably not the only one. If I'm not watching, I've got YouTube on my phone, and I have a tablet. I have a couple games I have on my tablet that I play. So I'm listening to YouTube, watching TV, and playing a video game on my tablet at the same time. Oh,
So, who would you say is your favorite creator outside of the world of Farm Sim?
well, Destiny 2 is my other most played game. I play it a lot. I've been playing it a while. There's a guy, content creator called Houndish. He makes content for uh Destiny 2. I watch him. Rick Cactus makes more content for Destiny 2. So those two are the other two guys other than Farm Sim. For Farm Sim guys, it's DJ Goham for the Farm Sim News and Mr. CVP. When I for some reason I don't get his content stuff anymore, whether he's as busy as he used to be, but I don't know whether he still puts out like it was. I don't know. I don't get them notifications. But yeah, those are the main guys I watch all the time. So I got to get my daily fix of Destiny 2 because there's always news out there. It's just as uh, newsworthy as Farm Sim, in my opinion. There's always news out there.
So I ended up playing Destiny, the original, for quite some time, and I really fell off hard
Yeah,
after Destiny 1 and it went to Destiny 2. It was a great game. Don't get me wrong. It was a
right.
fantastic game. It was just one of those that I don't know what happened. It really just kind of fell right off on my radar. I don't know.
The When Destiny 2 dropped, that was around 2017. Uh, it was that or Elder Scrolls Online. I picked Elder Scrolls Online to play when I was off with the chemo, so I was able to play that instead of Destiny 2. And Destiny 2, when it dropped, it was packed full of bugs, and there was all kinds of air, crap wrong with it. The one doctor that I had for the chemo, one surgeon, he was big into Destiny 2, and I used to give him crap all the time about you should have played Elder Scrolls instead. And he said he played Destiny because since he was surgeon, he needed the hand-eye coordination for the controllers to run the little robotics for operating and doing surgery and stuff. But I used to give him crap all the time for that. But I had another friend that played Destiny 2. He goes, "You should have bought Destiny 2." I told him, "Well, you should have bought Elder Scrolls." But I don't play Elder Scrolls anymore. I played it a lot. It requires a subscription. Destiny 2 does not. It's free to play. You just need to buy the expansions and DLCs when they come out. So they just had a big one here at the beginning of the month. Uh, Towboat and I have been playing it a lot, but uh, yeah, it been been pretty crazy.
I don't think I've ever thought about this before, but something you just said really just kind of like struck a chord with me. Having a doctor like playing video games for the
Yeah.
specifics of the muscle memory,
Uh huh.
the hand-eye coordination makes so much sense to me.
Yeah.
Like that just completely just blew my mind. Like I just never thought about that before. And really I guess I've never had a doctor young enough to where that would have been like cuz generally cuz I
Well,
live down in Florida, all the doctors around me, they're significantly older than I am.
this
Um
this doctor was an older gentleman. He was older than me, so he's probably in his 60s now. This doctor, and I don't know. Well, the last time I saw him, I asked him if he played, and I think he kind of quit because of the issues that was going on with Destiny. I don't know. And the guys and the kids that I used to play Destiny 2 with when I first started playing, that was when I first got into Discord. They were that community was the community that introduced me to Discord because that's how we communicated. Because Destiny 2 has no in-game chat system, and when you're in a group, you can get into voice chat as long as you were playing on the same system. So we use Discord to chat. And the one I used to play with all the time, he recommended getting Destiny 1. So I ended up buying Destiny 1. I think I played an hour. And I think, well, this is kind of fun. It reminds me a little bit of how Destiny 2 plays, and I see what they did here for this and all that stuff. But yeah, I I had quit Destiny for a while, and then it kind of got boring. I was sick of their power grind, and they just changed all that here with the power grind. I like the way the new system is set up. It's just to get what you need and the power you need, then you need to play slowly, play harder content. So Towboat and I are slowly getting our power up, doing the harder content. So we're working on it.
I gotcha. So let me ask you this.
Oh,
If you could meet any three people, who would they be and why? It could be for the past, the present,
uh, like out of the YouTube community.
just anybody in general. Just whether they were like famous musicians, rock stars, movie actors, famous characters in history.
Well, I've never really actually wanted to meet any superstars because most superstars are kind of, they think they're better than everybody else 90% of the time. If I was gonna want to meet any three people, I would have to Rusty's in chat. Rusty and I have known each other for a while. I probably want to go meet Tobo, and I've got a friend that I talk to every day. He lives in Florida. Uh, I would really like to meet him. So, and I know he's my age, and I know he's not in here because he doesn't do the YouTube thing anymore. He's usually too busy, but probably those guys. Chad CBW, I know that's more than three, but Mr. CBW would really definitely like to meet him. So one of these days, hit that YouTube millionaire deal. Uh, it'll happen. So
Just got to keep up the hard work. Keep up the hard work, and you'll get there one day.
yeah, right, Rusty. I know. Lucky dog. Well,
So,
thanks, man.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said thanks.
Oh, no problem, no problem. So, what was your first paying job?
Well, it depends on what you mean. Where I had to get taxes taken out, or just making money in general. Just making money in general. When I was younger, I mowed lawn. I had like 10 lawns I used to mow. I always had money when I was in school. I was a young kid, and if I wanted anything when I was younger, I had to buy it myself. Like Nintendo, all the first Nintendo when it came out. Hill's department store, they had layaway. I saved up. I mowed lawn. I put money 10% down on that with 4 or 5 video games. Put it on layaway, and that's how I bought my first own video game system. All my toys back when I was younger, GI Joe Transformers #1. Man, I had all that. I paid for it all. I did that, but my first paying job that where they removed the taxes, there was a small store up where near I where used to live. Uh, Hunting and fishing was the big deal, so I worked for them. I helped do bait. So they had a little room in the back. They would get bait in. I would count night crawlers, maggots, mealworms, put them by the dozen in a container, make the containers up. They had a refrigerator out front. They kept all that stuff had to be refrigerated. So that was my first paying job, working at that little store, counting bait, burning boxes twice a week, going up and doing. They had a big burn pile. Where we lived at, you could burn all that stuff. So instead of throwing it in the trash, we burn it all.
Gotcha. So, was there something in particular that kind of made you go to that specific field? Because like
Uh,
most people would have like a predilection to like, hey, I'm into the outdoors. I go fishing, I hunt, or whatever. Were you a big hunter or fisher?
we hunted. We did more fishing than hunting. Back then, I had an ATV, but we were in that little store all the time, and we were good friends with the people who owned it. And we went in there, and uh, my younger cousin, had worked in there and helped out, and he kind of give it up, and they asked me if I would help. I said, yeah, okay. So I went and I helped them. There was an older gentleman that used to come in. He lived in Ohio. He would come in on weekends, that lived in another town a little farther away. He needed somebody to help do firewood and do maintenance around his house when he come up on weekends. So uh, on Saturdays and Sundays, I would go work for him. I'd pack a lunch. I'd leave. He'd pick me up at 8, and I wouldn't come home till like 5 or 6 at night. All day long on Saturdays. It was mostly Saturdays because Sundays he was usually busy. But we cut firewood. They had tornadoes come through around 1985, and he had a lot of blowdown, and we cleared a lot of blowdown trees in that blowdown area for his firewood. Oh my God, I don't know how much firewood I loaded by hand. We rolled it up. It was on a hillside, so we cleared off the hillside firewood. And well,
Wow.
I helped do that. That was another way I made money. That was all cash money under the table. So when I was done, he paid me cash, like $6 an hour. So
That's not bad. I mean, a lot of hard
no,
work, but
like yeah, well, yeah, yeah. Well, back then I was younger. I did it, so I wasn't afraid of the work back then. even before I had the cancer and stuff, I wasn't afraid to do the work. So
No, absolutely not. And I mean that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that may also feed into the whole farm sim mentality.
yeah,
I feel like a lot of people really like the farm sim vibe to it, even if you've never set one foot on a farm or anything like that. Oftentimes, the players tend to have that kind of hard work mentality.
right,
You know, may not be able to do it much anymore or anything like that, but you still have that mindset. Does that make sense?
right, yeah. Uh, my mom's aunt and uncle had a farm back when we were younger. And when I was in school, I went down on a summer break. They were doing hay, so I went down with them. I rode around on the tractor. That was so long ago, I don't even remember. It was a red tractor, so it was either Case Farmall or something like that. I don't remember. Could be an international. I don't know. I rode around on the tractor with him like 2 or 3 passes. He had an old sickle bar mower to cut for the hay. I rode around with him while he did that on the tractor, and the bugs and stuff were so bad I got ate up from all the bugs. So I kind of stayed away after a couple passes. I said, "No, this ain't for me." They had horses, they had cows, they had chickens. The chickens were fun to chase around, trying to pick up. They kind of open ranged them and stuff like that. But uh, it was good for. I was there like a week, and after a week I was ready to come home. So it wasn't for me back then, but I was still in school, man. I was really young. I still remember that. It was fun, but uh since I started playing farm sim, you start watching, you watch TV and you see these shows. You have the farm tractors and all that in there. uh and I always seem to point out, oh, that's a nice John Deere. Check that old International out on there. And you, I'll go back to an earlier question that we got on this here, the topic. One of the other channels that I watch that's not farm sim, but it's farming related, is Millennial Farmer. I love that guy, Zach Johnson. He is off the hook, man. I love watching his content. And I like to watch. Who's the other guy? He used to be part of the squad. Him and his brother Spencer and Grant. I like to watch their stuff when they put videos out. I love those guys. They're pretty good. It's funny how they started out in farm sim, made enough money to buy their own farm and equipment. It's just crazy. But yeah,
Yeah, that's completely nuts.
yeah, right.
But I think that's the last question I had for this segment. So now it is time to go ahead and look to the chat and see what kind of questions that they have. First off, before we do that though, I want to give again shout outs out to everybody who has donated up to this point. We got Ronnie Johansson gave out a membership. We got Lonnie with a $2 super chat. Brady was just given a reminder about the double question marks. Lonnie also gave out another membership. We got David with a gifted membership. Thank you all so very, very much. Dale Rogers with a $5 super chat. Dale, thank you so much. And we got Ronnie also with another gifted membership. So thank every single one of you so very, very much. So now let's go ahead and set our sights on finding out some of those questions here. So let's see. First one I see here is from, let's see. Okay, so it was one from Gaming with JJ asking about the forklifts. So what specifically about the forklifts? Like, what's like so drastically different from in-game outside of like the actual mechanics of things like just making it explode or do like all sorts of weird stuff? Is there's anything about the actual mechanics itself that just is so far off based on your experience being able to actually do forklift driving?
Well, the mechanics of the machine, it's like JJ said, having the side shift and all that. I think it's hard to do that in the game because when you go to pick a pallet up or a piece of just say a regular pallet, when you pick it up, it doesn't stay. It's not actually affixed to the forks. It's all part of the game physics. I think that's why shit goes flying when you try to pick a couple up at a time. I guess if you could maybe strap them in somehow, if you went in with the forks, and you could hit the button to put straps on it or attach them there. But getting that side shift to work for them, because most forklifts have a side to side movement where you can move them left or right after you picked everything up. But yeah, that would be the work. It's just the mechanics and the physics of the game just makes it impossible. I think it sucks because I like to do that stuff. I like to manually load. Anybody who started watching me back in 22 when it was on farm, when No Man's Land, everything, I manually loaded everything back then because I was on console then doing all that. So I had to manually load it. I like doing it as long as everything works good. But yeah.
I gotcha. And I saw a question earlier. I don't see it in the chat anymore because, you know, the chat tends to scroll through, but I did see one earlier from Taco de Groot asking, "Do I ever sleep?" No. just no. I've got two kids and a wife, and I'm trying to run a channel here, so no.
Right.
uh,
I'm single and don't have any kids, and I don't sleep much.
oh, there you go. So it's not just my excuse.
Yeah, right. I'm a
Uh,
gamer.
yeah, that's it exactly. Let's see. And Benji 2022. Wow, the words are hard right now. Benji 2020 asked, "What's your favorite food?" And you mentioned chocolate. What else?
Chocolate, pizza, hamburgers, pasta, spaghetti. But if I could eat anything every day, it would probably be hamburgers. I prefer hamburger over steak, but I don't mind a good steak every now and then. Uh, but chocolate, I love Reese's peanut butter cups. Uh, the white chocolate. Now, I'd rather have the white chocolate and the specialty ones from Reese's that they have, like Christmas time, they have trees. They have the eggs at Easter time, and they've got other versions of it now. They're so much the peanut butter in them is different than the regular Reese's cup. It's creamier in those than the regular Reese's cup. But other than that, yeah, that man, that's about it. And ice cream. I like to have ice cream, especially when it's hot.
I gotcha. I
So
gotcha. So, what is it about the burgers that really kind of hits it for you? Is it
I don't know. I've
how
always
custom?
been a burger guy. Always been a burger guy. We used to eat burgers a lot, hamburgers out on the grill. It's just that I prefer to have a burger than steak. That's just me.
Gotcha. It's actually here recently. I had a buddy of mine who came over. He's talking about how he might want to try and start up like a little food venture, like a little food truck or something along those lines. He really
Right.
hasn't like hammered anything down just yet, but he wanted to come over. He's like, "Hey Dave, you know, let me come over and cook some burgers for you and let me get your honest opinion and all that." So I'm like, "Okay, I'll give you my honest opinion." And wow, he made a burger where it basically was just a simple smash burger. You know, you just.
Uh-huh.
But what blew my mind is he actually coated the burger meat itself. He did like half of it was coated in mustard, and then he pressed mustard side down into a cast iron pan, and he just seared it off on the cast iron with that mustard, and it developed this crust after cooking, and it had that kind of like already pre-mixed salt and all that stuff that was in the mustard. Wow, was that a game changer right there?
Right.
I don't
That
know if
sounds good. I ketchup and mustard on my burger all day long. Never been a big mayo fan. It's always ketchup and mustard, pickle, and tomato if we have it. We always try to have a nice homegrown tomato, pickle every now and then. But uh, I just answered Whiskey's question with that he just put in the chat. So what do I like to put on my burger? It's ketchup and mustard, cheese every now and then. Bacon every now and then. I don't mind a good bacon cheeseburger every now and then. But
so. One of the wildest things that I'd ever had, again, he came over to cook all this because he's wanting to kind of like set up a menu almost,
uh-huh.
and he created it was the he called it the fudge around and find out. And think about a burger, but a dessert burger.
Oh,
And what
no.
it was basically a s'mores in burger form.
Okay.
And
I don't know.
he ended up taking, what was it? It was basically, so you know, like a Juicy Lucy, right? Where it's like stuffed with cheese and sometimes bacon and
Yeah.
stuff. Well, instead of the cheese, take chocolate, like Hershey's chocolate, stuff that in the burger, cook it off so it's nice and melty and gooey on the inside. Uh, Marshmallow fluff on top of the burger with graham cracker, and then with sandwich between the buns. And I I thought when I first heard of this, or when I saw him cooking this, I was like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" I tried it, and wow, it
Oh,
was
okay.
ridiculously good.
I would try it definitely.
I highly
It doesn't
recommend it.
sound like it would be good, but man, it after you saying how that would be, yeah, I think it might be pretty. That would be good to taste. Try.
It
I would try it.
it reminded me very much of like the whole like chicken and waffles kind of thing, that kind of salty, sweet, savory kind
Yeah.
of thing. And that was basically what it was. It was that kind of sweet, savory kind of thing. It was, oh man, was it so good. It was
Yeah.
delicious. Blew my mind. I was just completely like dumbfounded how ridiculously good it was. Let's see. So I'm not seeing any other questions. So thank you all so much for who asked your questions. Greatly appreciate every single one of them. And if you have any questions, make sure that you do a double question mark. It makes it a lot easier to find in the chat. So now we're going to move on to our second segment here. It is called Meat and Potatoes, emphasis on potatoes. That's where we're going to get to know you for a little bit more for your content and what you do here within the farming simulator community. So Bruce's Gaming. I presume that's just your name and your kind of thing that you're doing within the community. Is that pretty straightforward,
Right.
or is there something a
Yeah.
little bit deeper behind it?
Nah, that's just Bruce's Gaming. I figured that would be the easiest way. I go by my name. They just call me Bruce. Bruce's Gaming. The channel was mainly Farm Sim. I have tried the other channel, the other games. When I do play the other games, I uh, don't get the eyes like I would hope to, because a lot of people that know me, they're Farm Sim people. So most people don't like to watch combat oriented games and stuff like that. So I just tend to try to stick to Farm Sim. I know they say you should play one game all the time, but if I want to play the other games, I'll play. I got another. I was trying kick out, but I don't know. It kick just seems kind of odd anymore. So I don't know.
Gotcha. So the reason I ask about the channel name is because sometimes it seems very straight obvious, like Bruce's Gaming. Yeah, it sounds like it'd be obvious, but
Right.
sometimes every once in a blue moon you'll get that kind of somebody throws a curveball at you, and it's like,
Right.
oh no, like Bruce was like my grandfather's cousin's nephew 3 times removed kind of thing, and
Yeah.
he ended up raising me from when I was a kid, so it was my homage to that. Like, you never know. It's one of those
Nope.
you never ask, you
Yeah.
never know. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That was the easiest thing. I figured I got to think of, well, what can I call my channel when I first started? Because when I joined YouTube, had no intention of streaming because I've been on YouTube for a while now, and it's just I used to watch. I'll boil back down to the card deal. I used to watch a guy from North Carolina. He would open cards for people online. He would do it. They'd buy cards that they'd either ship them to him or he would open them for them, and you get to see what those other people were getting. So that's why I started the YouTube channel. Well, I found him after I found the YouTube and stuff like that, but I don't know if he's even in the business anymore. I can't even remember what his channel name was. I tried looking and I couldn't find him, so I think he's probably done. They were in where he was at. They were in a lot of that bad weather area, so I wouldn't be surprised if he got washed out. But yeah, I figured, well, Bruce's Gaming would be the way to go for a gaming channel. So here we are. What,
gotcha.
4 years? Was it 3, 4 years later now? I think it's just over 3 years because I think A couple of them guys are 36 months on the membership. So, well, before, because 3 years monetized now. So,
Okay, and do you only produce farm sim content on the Bruce's Gaming channel, or do you try
pretty
and put other
much,
stuff
yeah.
out there as well?
I've had other games that I've streamed Destiny a couple times. New World, that's one of the other games I play. I haven't played for a while, but I think I've done ATS a few times, but it's been a while since I played ATS. We used to stream it, do ATS and run Convoy. Chad and my buddy Joe, one from Florida I was telling you about, we used to stream it. Joe used to stream it too. We used to have a good time playing it, but mainly it's farm sim anymore on YouTube.
And how long have you? Well, let me ask you this: when did you start playing farm sim? Like which version
Back
of it?
FS19 I started playing. Back right before COVID, I noticed I saw the trailer for Farm Sim on the PlayStation. I was playing on PlayStation 4 then. I got thinking, well, that game looks kind of fun. And I looked at it, and when they give us our first checks from the government, I got thinking, well, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to buy that game when they give us our money. And I waited around. I kind of forgot about it. I waited around, and then all of a sudden it come available on PlayStation Plus, and I was like, "Oh, okay, hell yeah!" So I downloaded it, played it. Then after I played it, I went and I got all of the stuff because Farm Sim already had been out for a while. So been playing Farm Sim ever since. That's how I got started. Uh, and when I noticed that game was free, uh, I'd I don't know how long I had PlayStation, and I had no idea about the PlayStation Plus stuff. I didn't even know they give out free games like that. And then when that come out that way, I've been playing it since. Yeah, right, Rusty. The Jethro's Challenge on Mercury, but that's when, man, I hit FS19. Been there ever since. Funny story, and I know Rusty can relate to this one. I played the game for 2 to 3 weeks, and I kept seeing all these people talking about mods this, mods that. I know what are they talking about mods? And then in the menu, I just happened to notice there was a mod area there, and I went in and I seen all these hundreds and 200s of mods, and here I am playing with just the basic stuff in the game. Are you freaking kidding me? I've been playing for 3 weeks and you've got all these other equipment in here. So I instantly deleted all of everything that I'd been doing. I went in and I downloaded. The first thing I got was that government subsidy sign. I put like 4 of them down. I spent time up. I had all this money, bought all this equipment, and I started buying. Back then when I played, uh, John Deere is mainly my equipment that I like to play with. So I bought all these John Deere equipment. I buy 2 harvesters, one for wheat, one for corn. So I had a wheat header, a corn header, and I had all this equipment. Well, on console, you got slot count. I had no idea what slot count was. I started buying all this equipment. I was buying the forestry stuff and doing forestry stuff. And next thing I know, you can't purchase out of slot room. What the hell are you talking about? Slot count. So I had to go to YouTube. I had to look it up. What's slot count? And I got, oh, really? I can only have this. So now I'm gonna have to get rid of that harvester and only have one harvester so I can have the 2 headers. And oh my god, I had to rewrite how I was doing everything. So it'll another learning curve, but
It,
it's all part of learning the game.
and that's
But
the thing
thankfully
is,
on PC, we don't have slot count. So Dale had that question earlier. How many mods is too many? Uh, I've got 600 right now that I have for FS25. Uh, so and yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, the correct answer is there is no too many.
Never.
There's
No,
no too
exactly.
many.
That's like he said. Hey, Matt Brennan.
But so we established that you started playing the game in FS19. When did you actually start like creating content? Like, did you start creating content in FS19, or did you roll into
Yes.
like 22?
Yeah, I was FS19. I started playing, doing the content, because it wasn't too long after when I first started playing FS19, and when I lost my job, and I got to thinking, well, I was watching the videos and seeing the content. I said, I got to thinking, well, I think I can do that. So I started making videos, and I posted the videos on back then. Well, zero followers. You know, you start making content, you put a video out, do a video every day. Every now and then you get one follower, get one or two views. I got to think, okay, what am I doing wrong? Why ain't nobody watching? Back then, I didn't care. I was just putting the videos out there, trying to get in there. And then I researched how you make money, how do you get on there to get monetized, and then 4,000 hours, 1,000 followers. I said, oh shit, it's gonna be a struggle. Then I decided one day I got thinking. I told mom, I said, I think I'm gonna go live. She goes, what do you mean? I said, I think I'm gonna stream the farm game from the PlayStation over to YouTube. She's, oh, okay. She had no clue what I was talking about. So, but she understands it now. Well, I streamed. You know, it's like everybody. You know, you start streaming, you're new. You stream to nobody. I streamed. I played the game, and I started watching videos on how to do this and how to do that and what you need to do. Like the first couple streams, I played the game. You get somebody come in, you see that number drop up, one or two people. And then like the first time you see that, you go, hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome in. And next thing you know, bloop, they leave. I get thinking, okay, what am I doing wrong? Well, I just kept playing the game, wasn't really talking. And then you watch the videos. They say when people come in, you don't greet them right away when they come in. You leave them there, and if they like what you're doing, they'll say something. Well, okay, well, I did that, and then I finally, there was one or two kids that used to come in when I first started streaming that were part of the very first few people that come in. I haven't seen them kids for ages, so I don't know what happened, because it's been a while. And that's how it all got going. I watched the videos and from the so-called experts or the people that have been doing it a while. That's how I learned to do it. I looked up YouTube and researched it that way, and stuff, where you make your videos, you do your live, you talk, even though there ain't anybody in there, you talk. So when people come in, they see you're talking and active, they maybe stay and watch or not. So that's how I got going at it. One of my first series that I created on there, I was on No Man's Land. I told you at the beginning before we started. I saw them survival series is pickup truck and a chainsaw. You start with, and in 19, No Man's Land had that wood chipper. You brought your wood in there and you dumped it in there, and it give you your wood chips, and you got paid, and you make good money. So you were able to go out, cut a tree down, you cut it into your little 4-foot sections or sections so you can lift it and throw it into the wood chipper, make your money at 2 meters at a time. So that was one of my first series is over there on my channel, in FS19, No Man's Land Survival. So I had a pretty good sized farm when I quit that series and started something else.
I gotcha.
I think
So, oh, go ahead.
I think what really got me going was the Alien Jim's other map, the Spectacle Island. I started playing that map, and David made the comment earlier about keeping me away from water. You know, on Spectacle Island there was gold bars, and I was driving around looking for the gold bars in the live stream for that. And I want to say Alien Jim was like, Alien Jim would come in every day when I streamed that. He was always there to watch. And I was going around. I had what, 9, 10 of the gold bars off the island. I was running around and driving on the beach. I was going too fast. The truck went out into the water. Well, I wasn't able to get my gold bars back. So everybody always teases me to stay away from water in the game. So because of that, I had to restart the map to be able to get those 9 bars back.
Oh no.
But yeah, that's why they tell me you keep Bruce away from water. But I'm always driving into deep water in the game when I'm testing my maps, just to see if there's water collisions or if you get kicked out of your vehicle and stuff like that. And that's all part of it. So good stuff.
That's hysterical. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, that Spectacle Island, that was one of my favorite maps back
Oh,
in
me too, man.
FS19.
I love that map. I actually went back on a Thursday one night here a couple months ago. I did a throwback Thursday stream from the PlayStation, and since that's where FS19 was at and that game save was at, because I still have it, went in there and was showing everybody the map and all that, what I had done on there and stuff. So
Well, one of the things that I loved about that map, was that the farm that you inherited, or that you started with, it was just completely dilapidated. You had to put
right,
an effort to just get the farm started. And I thought that was one of the
right,
most unique aspects of that map, was just starting out with literally just junk. And then all the
yep,
fields had trees in them, and like
yep.
you had to put in the
Well,
sweat equity to be able to put in the sweat
yeah,
equity.
Rusty had made a challenge for the map, so I was running that challenge on the map and ended up. I want to say when I was done, I think I bought the whole map after we had tried to finish the challenge. But in 19, silage was the way to make money. You cut your grass, you made silage, put it in your BGA, and then you sold your slurry or your digestate to make all kinds of money selling making that way. That's how I made my money in 19, by all making silage. Silage was like silage was the way to go in 19, man.
Oh, for sure.
Make your
100%.
silage, sell your digestate at the sell point, and boom, got money.
Yep.
Exactly, Rusty. Ain't seen Alien Jim in a while though. I don't know. Hopefully he's okay.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So tell me, what's one thing that you never expected when you started your channel? And some examples that I give are like the sense of community, the any unexpected backlash, things along those lines. So what was something that you never expected when you started your channel?
Well, you mentioned the backlash. Around 300 subs. Me and another guy, we started getting the issue with trolls in the chat. They'd come in, they were giving us all a hard time. It actually forced the other guy, he quit YouTube altogether. But I just ignored them and kept going and doing what I was doing. We'd give them a hard time and then ban them, and they'd come in a different chat. And finally, they noticed that I wasn't going to quit. So then
Mhm.
yeah. But other than that, that's that's about it. But like you said, the community has been really good. They've been real supportive. Uh, they've helped to me to be able to get the PC and the setup that I have here. It's like I said, it's not 100%, but it does the job for me. They helped when I had just bought a new gaming chair, and 2 weeks after the one day when I was streaming, the one leg off the gaming chair broke while I was live. And everybody who was in here that was in the live stream knows all about that. Everybody instantly come together and donated money for me to be able to get a chair. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a chair at that time. I had to use the money. We needed food, so it went to feed us. But I have a new chair now. It's not a gaming chair, but it's a nice office chair that I sit in now. But other than that, the community has been real good. You have some people say the community is bad, and it's all in who is around for the community wise. I think there's
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. It's one of those where we said it a few times here tonight, but the community is amazing. The
right,
the individuals in this community is what makes doing the things that you and I do, and I presume that you're going to feel the same
right,
exact way about this, but doing the things that we do, so worth it.
right, and you're always going to have the keyboard warriors out there. You're always going to find somebody uh, out there who is going to use their keyboard to just cause havoc and all that. What's up, Cavalier Roy? I had to say hi to Cavalier Roy. So, another
So,
good map creator.
oh yeah, yeah, fantastic map creator. If anybody who's not familiar with Cavalier Roy, go check out some of his maps. He makes some good stuff. So, would you consider Farm Sim to be your favorite game, or would you give that title to something else?
Uh probably my favorite non-combat game. uh, when I first started playing, like I said, I played Atari and all those games, and back before I had Farm Sim and all the other games, I was into I like to play MMOs. That's what I really like to play. When I went to truck driving school, I was introduced to EverQuest, which is a game that was run by Sony way back. It was to compete with World of Warcraft. Uh, and I played EverQuest. My brother actually bought the game first because I had told him about it. He got it, and then we both got addicted to playing EverQuest. We both used to play a lot, and I kind of quit after my dad passed away. It was one of those things I just couldn't feel like sitting there in front of the PC and playing after all that had happened. So, but yeah, Farm Sim has got to be the favorite for non-combat. The Destiny 2, Division 2 are right there a good second. I've actually got more hours in the Division 2 than Destiny 2, but I've played Destiny 2 longer. So if that makes any sense, my buddy Joe, he's the one who put me on to Division 2. And once I started playing, I'm a gamer. I get hooked on a game pretty quick. So,
Oh,
but
100%.
right now I'm back to playing Destiny 2 a lot now. But it's I would rather play it than Division 2, but I like to play them both.
Oh, and Division, that's another series that was fantastic. When those came out,
Right.
they were incredible. And
I
it's
never I never played the first one, and I know a guy who I used to play Destiny with. He quit to go play the Division 2 when it released, and we used to give him shit about it all the time. But he was leaving his Destiny 2 family to go over there to play Division 2 and all that stuff. But
if you ever get a
uh,
chance to play now, keep me honest here, because Division was the one that was in New York, wasn't it?
yes,
Okay, and then
and
Division 2 is in
it takes place in DC, but they
DC.
had an expansion where they took you back. They had Warlords in New York, and once you hit 40, then you went to New York, and then once you finished the campaign in New York, you could come back to DC. Well, they just had a new expansion for New York. They opened up, and I don't have it yet because I haven't had the money to buy it, but they've got a new New York expansion and more storyline for that. So I haven't watched any of it. Like I said, it come out right before Destiny, and I I had the money to get either one, and I picked Destiny over Division because my heart's more into Destiny than Division. So
Well,
when I bought it, but
if you ever get a chance to play Division, like it was amazing, absolutely
yeah,
amazing.
I
Um,
actually tried Division after playing Division 2, and I played maybe an hour and a half. I got through some of the storyline, and it all played about the same. But it was just I had to start all over, and I didn't have the gear and the weapons like I had in Destiny 2 in Division 2. It's kind of like playing going from Destiny 2 and playing Destiny 1. You got all these low level gears and your guns, and you got to think, why ain't this guy dying? But it's I don't know, it's like that right now in Destiny because they reset everybody's power cap to 10. So you got to rebuild your power back up, and gear systems all different. And oh my, it's crazy. You start shooting these bad guys, and you're only hitting them for 3 instead of 15 and 10. Oh man, this is gonna take forever. So,
so,
but yeah,
what hooked me about the Division, the original one, is one of the first missions that you do when you actually get into New York is you go and actually take control over Madison Square Gardens. And you're sitting there and you're just kind of rummaging through the entire building of Madison Square Garden. And at one point, you're actually in the rafters, like at the like catwalks that are in
uh
the
huh.
Madison. Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
I never got to that. I haven't played that far.
Oh, it's one of the very beginning, like when you just enter in, because you go through like the little intro scene where it's just like you're just outside of the city portion of things, and then once you get into the city after the kind of introduction, that's when you get into that first mission. And
Okay.
you being a hockey fan, and just a
Yeah.
sports fan in general, I'm sure you're aware of like the iconic scenery that is Madison Square Garden. I mean,
Well,
even if you're not a Rangers fan or any other team that
well,
plays there.
you bring up the Madison Square Garden thing. The original Godzilla movie back with Matthew Broderick, where they nested in Madison Square Garden. I remember that scene, really well. After
Yep.
you bringing that up, I got thinking, oh man, look at it, they're trash in Madison Square Garden, laying all the eggs inside there and stuff. So
Yeah, so it was just wild to be able to play a video game that where you're just kind of traipsing through Madison Square Garden. You actually get to go out onto the court because I think they had it set up for like a basketball game at that point. Is what is it? The
uh,
Knicks that play there, I think.
yeah, I think so.
And yeah, it was all set up for like the Knicks game and all that stuff. And you're just running gun throughout the entirety of that level. Oh, it was so good, so good.
Right. So I see Cavalier Roy wrote a question in there. Uh, a map for FS25 that surprised me most with the great features um, would have to be Agroforest. There's so much to do on that map with the boats and the mine and stuff that they have added to that map. It's, to me, that's innovative of what they've done for, especially for console players also, to be able to do all that stuff where you get in, you drive the boat around up to the river, and you got that like mining area and stuff like that. I've
Yeah,
been FS right now has been, it's been kind of, you know boring or lackluster for me because I haven't seen anything like I was hoping to see from some of the modders right now. I've been hope uh how could I put it? I was hoping to see more constructible buildings. Right now, it's all we're seeing is this influx of stuff from FS22 getting ported over. Everybody remaking this to 25. I think we need to see some stuff that's a more original. Uh, right now, the I was hoping to see more constructible project where you could throw down a barn, you could build it, and you could use it. Right now, the only person who has had a constructible on the mod hub is Omatana, and she made that little shed that has a little wood miser. You bring the wood in, and it builds your stuff for you, and it builds that little shed. And I think it's got a sleep trigger. She's working on another one, but she put out this hotel here a week or so ago. That hotel would have been perfect for a constructible. You put down that deal, and then you bring all of your products there, build that constructible, and then you have that used as passable income, like she's got it set up. That'd have been perfect for a constructible. Nobody's even thinking about making constructibles. You've got several of the maps like Lambo. Lambo Mods has uh, Isle of Echoes out there. There is a constructible bridge project on there. He's got constructible, and I think Death's Pledge help make that bridge on there. That would be perfect for maps to where you could throw that down and build off of. I was really hoping to see more of that type of stuff to where we could actually build our own farms by putting down farmhouse that farm. It takes a while and stuff to do all that, but I don't know. It's just odd.
well, it's funny that you mentioned Agroforest because that was the one map that came to FS25 so far that really reminded me of Spectacle Island because of the boats. Because that was Spectacle Island was like I think the first map that I ever interacted with where boats were a thing
Right.
and you could actually like utilize them as a part of the actual operations. And it's basically
Uh-huh.
kind of a homage, in my opinion, to Spectacle Island. So
Yeah.
let's see. So we established you started playing in FS19. You started recording and creating your channel in FS19. Um, so let me ask you this: you've been playing for at least 3 iterations of Farm Sim up until this point. Thinking back to FS19, FS22, and now currently FS25, what would you consider to be your favorite map from each iteration that you've played?
Oh man, 19 would be close to Uh, see, 19 would have Spectacle Island would have had to been my favorite map in 19. Uh, I'm trying to think of, and I think I was entered. I don't know if I can't remember if I played Lone Oak in 19 or if that was on FS22. I think I tried Lone Oak towards the end of FS22 for the first time, and hands down, that had been one of my favorite maps in 22. But I'm gonna have to say my favorite map of all time in 22 would have to be Deadwood, Poor Boy. Uh, and I helped Poor Boy with that map. Same with Josh. So,
Yeah,
but
Deadwood was a great map. Absolutely.
uh, I had an absolute joy working with Poor Boy and Gaming Joy on that map. I helped a lot of the ideas for production wise. I helped I come up with the ideas for that on there. And Poor Boy, I was surprised that Poor Boy give me credit. He goes, "No," he goes, "You deserve that." And Josh, he added his grass in there and all that. So yeah, Rusty Lone Oak. I couldn't remember if Lone Oak was on 19 that I played first or not, but I want to say I think Lone Oak was. I can't remember if I played it in 19 though. I tried it in 17 because I had got 17 gifted to me on the PC and I tried it, and it was 17 was kind of hard to get used to playing, but okay, so they're telling me I did Lone Oak in 19. So yeah, Lone Oak would have to be between that and Spectacle Island for my favorite maps in there.
Okay. And you
And
mentioned that you
25
sorry, go
right
ahead.
now and in 25 I don't know, we're still kind of early, and it's like I said, I've been having a hard time getting motivated to do farming in FS25. Right now I'm spending more time with Terraform on Founders Forge 4X. It's Terraform, it's set up for Terraform and all that. So you don't need any of those fill type mods to play on it because he's got everything included built into the map. So
Okay. And you mentioned earlier that you do map tours and things, correct?
right, uh-huh. Usually
So
do that live.
you're pretty familiar with a good group of the maps throughout your tenure here within the farm sim community. So
Uh-huh.
we focus on what were your favorites. Do you have any that you would say are your least favorite?
Uh, well, I'm a big I I I don't like the real tiny maps. They give you a certain amount of area to use to build a map on. I say use it. I don't like it when the map makers make the maps and they don't have all the land purchasable. I like to be able to buy all my land. I like to be able to customize to my liking. So deleting farm buildings and direct decorations, that is a plus. And when you download a map, I don't want to download 20 extra mods to play it. To me, that's when that same map maker keeps using those assets in all their maps when they're putting out. That to me, that's a money grab for those people that they're for the downloads and all that. That's just me. I know it's saving space with the map for them, but the map that released yesterday, that new map, it had that 20 extra mods. There was what 450 megabytes for the map, and all of the mods were 400 and some megabytes themselves. So you're 900 megabytes for the whole map. Why not just include it in the map and be done with it? I don't know. Josh has explained it before, but it saves on file size and all that. But at least it's all included in there. That's a console killer there. You 900 megabyte map. That's console killer. You'd have to delete so many mods or maps off out of your console to even think about looking at one of them and keeping what you've got on your console.
Yep, 100%. So if you had the power to just snap your fingers and bring one map from any iteration of Farm Sim to FS25, what map would it be?
Oh, you put me under the gun. It had to be Deadwood, hands down Deadwood. Yeah, I know I had a hand in it, but I had the most fun playing Deadwood and helping with it. Uh, I really wish poor boy would have. Right now, he just out of the deal. So it's a shame. But Deadwood would have had to been it. Uh, Second one probably would have been Lone Oak from 20 from 19, bringing it over.
Gotcha. So
Yeah,
before,
I see that Cavalier. I'm going to answer Cavalier Roy. I know you told me not to do that, but I'm kind of watching chat. Yeah, you're right, Roy. That's another reason why it takes too long to get their permissions. Yeah.
before FS25 released, we were starting to get that slow drip of information about all the features and stuff that was going to be available for FS25. So like ground deformation, the god rays, the weather, the destructive weather such as the tornadoes and hail, all those bits of information that we were getting right before its release. What was that one feature that you were like the most excited about before 25 was released?
Probably the ground deformation, because I was really hoping they'd integrate Terraform into Farm Sim that way. And we all see now how big of a debacle that was. But then second would have been the weather, the tornado. The tornadoes I think were cool. I think I streamed for like 2 or 3 days on Riverbend, and then I finally got a tornado. Once I saw the tornado live on there, I got thinking, well, that's kind of neat. He did its thing, run around and broke a few trees down, and but you could walk into it and there was no damage and stuff like that. I think that kind of was a downfall. I actually turn all that stuff off now when I play. I seen it once and I'm good thinking that, and I don't need to see it again. So, but I was really I like the idea of the ground deformation, and I know it what took them like 5, 6 updates to fix it. It's still kind of wonky at times, but it's doable. I was really hoping for a Terraform iteration built into the game for everybody, but I guess we'll take the in-game GPS that they give us. So,
So you keep referring to the Terraform. For those who are like console only players, can you explain what that is?
so the people on console, Terraform is the ability to take a piece of equipment like a bulldozer or a wheel loader. It's got to where you can set it to where you can dig the ground up. Say if I wanted to make stones, I go into the settings on Terraform. Like for the wheel loader, I could pick that I wanted to scoop up stones out of it, like take a hill and dig stones out of it, and it would level it off. It's like using the landscaping tool, but on a piece of equipment. And you could pick out like say stones, and as you're scraping them out, the dirt that would be painted on the ground, you could set it for any color that you wanted. So you can make it look like dirt or stones or a grass texture. If as long as the map had the fill types built in, you were able to use that to dig up anything on the map, as long as it had the fill types built into the map, like like your crops. You could actually, I know in 22 you used to be able to you could set Terraform, you could dig if you wanted to, you could dig cotton, you could dig corn out of the ground if you wanted. I watched a buddy of mine, he needed tires, so he started digging a hole and he got tires out of the ground and stuff like that. It was like he was digging in a dumps, like in a landfill. He was digging tires out of the ground. It's kind of funny. Right now, there's not a whole lot of map to have the extra fill types, so there are mods on the mod hub. They have that additional fill types mod that you can get. You add that into your map, and you can use that along with there's a couple productions I think that's available for that mod from is it Weasel, I think has done it. I want to say that's the gentleman's name. One's like a coal plant, and he's got a couple productions that way. But yeah, that's how the Terraform mod works. The equipment, you can't just use any equipment. Terraform has to be put on that machinery. So most of us on PC, if we're terraforming, we use FS Miner's equipment because most of his equipment comes with the terraform already on it. So
Gotcha. So going back to the features that were being told about FS25, what was one feature that you were initially excited about but soured on pretty quickly after actually getting a hold of the game? Would you say that was the tornadoes and the weather events?
yeah, I think so. That would have been my least favorite deal. I thought it was going to be better than what it was, but right closer to launch, they started telling us that the tornadoes you weren't gonna they were gonna cause damage, but you weren't gonna be able to get sucked away and get thrown all over the place by them. They were just more of a visual, and damaging the trees and stuff. I don't think they had figured out how to throw vehicles and people around and stuff like that, even though you can do that with picking up 2 pallets at a time with a forklift and stuff. They should have took that mechanic and added it into the tornadoes.
uh,
But
that would have been a good platform, a good
yeah, right.
basis.
Yeah.
So, what's one thing in or what's one thing that's not in Farming Simulator that you really wish was?
In the base game, like like I said, I'd really like to see Terraform and the in-game like course play and stuff like that. I know we've kind of got that, but it's nowhere near like what the PC guys have. I don't use any of that stuff. Uh, I've had it. I've got Follow Me installed. I've never used Follow Me. I drive all my equipment where I need to go. But
Gotcha. And
yeah, that would have to be Terraform, man. I really wish Terraform would have been in the game. Like
gotcha. So, what style of map do you prefer to play on? Do you prefer to have more of a wide open, like American style map, or do you prefer like a more tight, compact UK style map?
I'm American. I like the big open field American maps. But if the maps have the European maps have a good feel to them, I do like them. Uh, Cavalier Roy's in here. He makes some of the nicer maps that have the open fields, and I like the ability when he puts it in there where you can get rid of the hedges. I know the hedges add for the decoration. Um, and I hate using a medium sized harvester and towing a header around and you open a gate to go in there and it takes you 20 minutes to get inside the field to be able to harvest and then you don't have any room to get around and I just can't stand that. I like to be able to pull up alongside the field, drop the header down and go.
I think it was
And I,
actually. Sorry, go ahead.
I like the ability to, if I'm on them maps, get rid of the hedges, and if I want to combine fields, I can. So I guess it all boils back down to liking the big wide open fields and using the big machinery. Uh, go big or go home, they say. So
I hear you there. I think it was actually Cavalier Roy who taught me like how you're supposed to like go into those like European style fields where it's got the tight entryway with a header, with a harvester and all that stuff. And I for the longest time I had no clue. I'd turn off damage or I'd do whatever I had to do in order to be able to just get in there and just kind of I don't know, like Thor's hammer my way through the gate and just
right.
get to work, but he actually showed me like the proper, procedure of how to work in those style of fields and I would have never have gotten that on my own. So
Oh,
again,
okay.
big shout out to Roy cuz it's a procedure. It is a
Yeah,
procedure.
it would need to be definitely.
So, what style of farming do you prefer to do? Do you prefer to work on arables, forestry, grass care? What's your main thing that you like?
If I like to do, like I said, I'm forced. I play on PC, so that reason I got the PC was to do forestry and mining. If I'm gonna do farming, I don't mind doing it all. The arable farm animals. I haven't done much of that yet in 25. I don't know. Haven't found that map yet that's really got me yet. So I get bored. I've been getting bored really quick with farm sim. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just getting too old for it. I don't know.
So, in your content, do you tend to do any of the contract work or anything like that?
Yeah, I've done the contract work. Couple of my series that I was doing and recording on. I started a Zero to Hero series on a 4X map, and I was doing contract work on there to get money made to be able to buy the main farm and all that stuff. But I I'm not really a big contract fan, but I will do them from time to time if I need the money, especially if I'm working doing like a series like that where I need the money.
So, what
And
would
I play
what
on PC, so I have a mod that gives me a little bit more money for contract. So
so what would you consider to be your most and least favorite kind of contract type?
well, I like the mowing and the baling contracts. I like to do them. Uh, Least favorite got to be anything root crop. Uh, I did too many of them in 19 with no mods challenge. Rusty knows he helped with a 3 day potato farm on there. But uh luckily we've got the ability now where we can do root crops at a high rate of speed and not have to worry about plugging along at 5 mile an hour at 4 meters. So
Yeah, I think it's what Chris and Riley S. I think
yeah,
they put out
yeah,
the Colossus pack and absolute game changer for everybody who just loathes doing root crops.
yeah,
I'm one of them.
yeah. I don't mind doing them as long as I can use their equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's it. I don't mind it if I'm able to kind of take some liberties. That's
Yeah, right.
that's that's definitely true. So, as a content creator, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who is looking to start in this field?
Uh, don't give up. Uh, if you're gonna do it, do it. Be consistent, and yeah. What else could I tell you to do? Just play play the game and have fun. You know, whatever you're looking to do, just have fun while you're doing it. Don't watch the numbers at the beginning because it'll drive you batty. I know some people that have watched the numbers and they can't understand why they're not getting this and that, and you just got to do it. You just can't watch the numbers. I tend to watch the numbers a lot, but it it's why it's why I do it. You know, I need the numbers to be good to be able to I I started the YouTube channel to make money. You know, that's why I do it. You know, it helps put food on the table at, at times when I get paid. So, but yeah, just do what you're doing and be consistent and just have fun at it. That, that's about it. That's all I can think of right now to let everybody know. You know, just don't get discouraged. Uh, you're gonna have haters out there if you get bad comments. You can either ignore them, delete them, and just tell them thank you for your input. You know, and remember, even though it might be a bad comment, it's still a comment on there, and it's means that your channel got noticed. So sometimes them bad comments, you know that just goes to show you they're watching. So somebody's watching.
No, exactly. That's a great point. Is you know just because somebody's on there leaving nasty comments or whatever,
Right?
it means that they watched it.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the most memorable moment of your content creation career so far?
Oh, well, I've got two that I can think of. One would be driving the pickup truck full of gold into the lake, and 2 would be my gaming chair breaking on live stream. And
Both,
anybody who was around for either one of those knows that they're right there. Even I would have to say the breaking of the leg on the gaming chair would have to be it, because when it's, you know how your base of your chair is there, it's got the usually what 5 or 6 arms that come out for your wheels. The one plastic arm snapped off. I had just leaned forward to do something, and when I leaned forward, that one thing snapped. Well, when it snapped, the chair hit the chair hit the floor, and I grabbed the hold of my desk to stop myself from falling over. And I heard it made so much noise, and everybody goes, "What was that?" I said, "That was my chair just busted." And then I heard my mom, "What was that noise?" She heard it. She heard it breaking too, because she was downstairs watching TV. She goes, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah." Luckily, I caught myself on the desk. I didn't hit my face or anything. So,
oh,
yeah, those two there. That's the gaming chair has to rule that.
I gotcha. Yeah, that would definitely be a pretty memorable moment if
Oh yeah,
all of a sudden you're right in the middle of something, and being able to then look back on it because it's, it's on the internet, it's now forever.
yeah, yeah,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that would definitely be a interesting moment to say the least.
yeah.
So tell us, what's one of your favorite mods?
Uh, got to be Terraform right now in on the PC side. Terraform, Universal Autoload. Trying to think of anything else. No, I think that's pretty broad right there. Terraform, we got to be Universal Autoload. Got to be 2 of my favorite mods on the PC side. Chris and Riley's Harvester and stuff like that. I don't really use them a lot on PC, because I've got the ability to edit the other equipment, and I have other equipment I can use and stuff on the farm that work just as good. Top
So
munchies.
who so you do your map tours, we established that. Who's that one map maker that when you're like going through and you're kind of, reviewing like the map information, like you're on the mod hub, you're reviewing everything, who's that one map maker that you're like, oh hey, so and so just dropped a map, and now you're really excited? Who's that one person that you're always like, oh yeah, let's get ready for this one, I'm excited
Uh,
for this?
in in 22, it would have been Poor Boy. You know, I, I built up a pretty good relationship with Poor Boy over the last year or so. Uh, he had some personal issues, and he switched jobs. He went and got work, so he's unable to do the modding and stuff. He doesn't have the time for it now. Would have to be him right now. I'm gonna say, uh, I like Carl TG's maps. He added the peat moss to his maps. I love the concept of the peat moss. Wish there'd have been a little bit more to it. I know he's slowly trying to work on that addition, but I would say them, Carl TG. Uh, Trying to think of just recently that uh one map that come out from Green Yak, that Sabuchao or whatever. It's a nice small map, but it was well decorated. But that Carl TG would be it right now that I could think of. And like we talked before there about Lancey Boy. Anything from Lancey Boy, you're always wishing to see that. Cavalier Roy's stuff is always good to see. He's always doing a fantastic job with his stuff. So you got the
100%.
Shanty Boys; they do their maps, uh, and stuff like that. So they're always cranking.
Yeah, I agree with all those. Like every single one of them that you name there is great map makers, and definitely deserve the
And
shout out in their own right.
most of
Uh,
those guys they make maps for all platforms. So I'm not just picking PC stuff. So there are a lot of PC only maps out there that are really nice, but they're 4X. And right now, it's hard for me to go and play a normal size map after playing on a 4X map. I've kind of gotten used to playing on a 4X map, but then you hit a 2X map. I said, man, this map's small. It's kind of boring.
See, what I find is that it's a really good map when it is a 2x map that feels like a 4x map.
Right.
There's something that
The
the map maker did that makes it feel bigger than what it actually is.
Yeah, exactly right, Rusty. Carl is young. And uh a map, just the thing of that Pennsylvania map that come out, the Pleasant, the Acres map that came out the other day. That's a regular size map and it feels larger just by the layout. In my opinion, it feels like that. Matt's map from the Shanty Boys is Maisie Lou Farms map. It feels larger than a regular size map, just the way he's got it laid out.
Yep. Yep, exactly. It's incredible to me when a map maker can do that, because like you look at the card and you see how it's all laid out and whatnot, and you know that it's the same size as every other map that's out there, but
Right?
somehow it just feels massive, and it's just because
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
road network that's placed on and how you have to kind of follow the bends and turns. It's a really cool like, I don't want to call it a phenomenon, but it's just like a cool thing that there's
Right.
certain people that can do it, and I welcome everybody who can.
Right. So whiskey, I'm going to answer whiskey's question there. You got favorite 4X map. Right now, my favorite 4X map is Founders Forge from well, uh, Freedom Modding Group, Modding Company. It's a Terraform only map. So that right now, that's my favorite 4X map right now because that's what I've been playing the most of. So
So earlier we mentioned some of the other creators that you have followed over the years. You mentioned DJ Goham and Mr. Sealy P. Uh, would you consider them to be some of the people who inspired you to start your channel, or was there just other people that was involved that inspired you to
uh,
start?
if anybody inspired me more to start the channel would have been probably Mr. Sealy P. Because I watched him the most when I first started playing. DJ, he was kind of over the top when he first started. When I first started playing the game, and I had a hard time watching him and then play. But his farm sim news videos is really what kept me going, and watching him. And I watch all of his like mod reviews and his farm sim news videos all the time. And out of all of those guys, he's the only one. He has come into my channel before, and when he did, he is, dude. I'm just another guy. I'm just another guy, man. When somebody like that comes into your channel, yeah, it's like, whoa, all right. I finally did. I finally got one of these guys to come into my channel. I've had Cavalier Roy's come in before and hung out and said hi. Kaz 64 has been in a few times because I've played his maps before. Everybody knows Kaz from some of his maps from 19 and 22.
Hmm.
Right now, he only does the PC only stuff because he doesn't like Giants BS. Uh, Alien Jim used to come around all the time back in 19, especially when we were doing, um, when we were playing his Spectacle Island map. So, uh, and I want to say I think Lancy Boys come in before. I'm pretty sure it was him that come into the channel, but I'm not 100% sure. But Groot PS5, PS5, yeah, no PC. But other than that, yeah, that would be about it.
I gotcha. So
I,
last question I have for this segment here is, if you had the ability to make a map of real life, let's say you had all the prerequisite knowledge, you knew how to code, you knew how to do all the like landscaping and Giants Editor, all that stuff. Where would you base your map off of, and why?
well, I don't know whether I'd base it off of a certain area, but I've got an idea. I've actually thought of this before. I'd love to be able to learn to do all that stuff and build a map. Uh, it would be based probably around the Pittsburgh area and Three Rivers, because in Pittsburgh you got the two rivers that come together in Pittsburgh, the Monongahela and the Allegheny, and form the Ohio. Would love to build a 4X map around that Three Rivers idea, where the two rivers come together and they form the one. And Point Park is in Pittsburgh, where them two rivers come together. You've probably seen the pictures of it, where the two rivers are there and they've got the big water fountain down there. That's Point Park down in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Stadium is right there off to the side, right there by it also. But that area in that would be kind of like, I wouldn't build the like metropolitan area around it, but I would design a map off of that Three Rivers area.
Okay, so just kind of like
And
taking
it would
some
be
liberties with it.
it would be a mix of everything. Like I'd set a arable farm off somewhere. I'd do some forestry and some mining off on an area. Uh, use trains to haul material around and stuff like that. Like I said, I've got the idea in the brain. It's just getting it to the computer and learning how to do all that.
I gotcha. All right. Well, like I said, that is the last question I have for this segment. So let's go ahead and turn it back to the chat and see if we have any more questions. So let me check that out just really quickly here. Let's see. You know what? Not a question from the chat, but just one thing that we were talking about earlier. We were talking about food, and specifically, we were talking about the burgers.
Yeah.
But to kind of redirect it to pizza, you a big fan of pizza?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Okay,
Extra cheese, mushrooms. I'll eat pepperoni sausage every now and then, as long as it's not too spicy. But mushrooms and extra cheese all day long. I've only ever had pineapple once. It's okay on pizza. I know that was probably coming up. You like pineapple on your pizza. It's not meant to be on pizza, but it just makes it taste different. So I think if you put the pineapple and add in ham to go along with it, because normally when you make ham, you cook ham, you put pineapple on your ham to help sweeten the deal. I think that would help it a lot. When we were younger, we would get Canadian bacon, which is like a ham on our Pizza Hut, and I don't think they don't call it that anymore. I don't think so. I don't know, but yeah, I could eat. I'm like burger. I could eat pizza every day. So
yeah, so you beat me to the punch. It was the whole, what's your opinion on pineapple on pizza? It's one of those that it's a very contentious issue. There's
right, it is
a hot debate, and actually,
It's all
I don't know if I'm the only one that has come across this, but have you heard of the great grilled cheese debate?
like what? What are you talking about? I like grilled cheese a lot.
So apparently there's a debate going on online about grilled cheese and whether a grilled cheese can be anything besides bread, some sort of fat, and cheese. And people are saying that if you put anything else on a grilled cheese, like a meat, or it's no longer grilled cheese, it's considered a melt at that point.
Uh, well, I guess depends on where you're at in the country. We used to put ham inside our grilled cheese every now and then, and have a grilled ham and cheese sandwich. We call it. But you could call it a melt if you wanted to. I guess it depends on where you're at. It's just like the deal with Mountain Dew or pop soda. It depends on where you're at in the country. Some places call it pop, some places call it soda. So it's to each their own, I guess. Doesn't matter to me if you call them, if you say I'm going to give you a melt, I'm going to know what you're talking about. It's going to be bread and cheese and stuff like that. I've seen a video where there's a place in New York that makes grilled cheese sandwiches. They use glazed donuts instead of bread. They cut a donut in half. They put the cheese on there and then they grill that, and that's what they give you. Your grilled cheese is made with a glazed donut, and it looks really good. These donuts aren't like small; they're huge. That would be really
Oh,
good.
that sounds delicious.
And
Yeah,
yeah, Rusty, that would be grilled cheese style food would be awesome because I love grilled cheese, man, especially homemade.
I see. I don't know where this whole debate like originated from. I'm sure it was someplace like Reddit or something like that, where people were just sitting there just arguing just to argue.
Right?
But my one of my friends, he ended up reaching out to me just randomly, and he's like, Dave, you know, grilled cheese, what's on it? And I told him, fat, cheese, and bread. That's a basic for a grilled cheese. He's like,
Yeah.
is there anything you can add to it that would make it not or is there anything you can add to it that wouldn't be considered a melt? And I threw out there the one thing that I think that you could throw onto a grilled cheese that would not technically be considered a melt. And I think I melted his brain when I threw this out there. And I told him, what if you add chives? If you
Okay.
if you add chives to a grilled cheese, it's technically a top or like a condiment, not a changing of the
Right.
actual cheese itself or the recipe itself. It's just like an addition to,
Right.
So would that then be considered a melt? And he's like, okay. So he runs off, and I guess at the time he was working up in an office there in Chicago where he lived up there, and he immediately goes and throw this out because this was like a raging debate that they had up there in his office there in Chicago. And it was one of those where he finally like comes back to me like a few days later. He's like, Dave, I think you broke the internet. And I'm
Well,
like, that was not my intention.
it's like I said, it's actually part like a condiment, like a decoration thing. Like if you put parsley or something on a salad or a sandwich or something like that, because that's pretty much what it is, right? Like a garnish.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And back in the day when I was younger, I would actually, when we had grilled cheese, I'd pull the sandwich apart and I'd put mustard on my grilled cheese. I always did it. That little store that I worked at, that I told you about at the beginning, that I worked at, the owner would make us a hot ham and cheese sandwich. He would take one of their sub buns, he would throw some American cheese and some of their good ham. He would nuke it for us for on if we went in there for like a lunch break or something like that on like cold day. He would actually take that and he'd put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds. Would warm the bread up, melt all the cheese and the ham, and he goes, "What do you want on it?" I said, "Throw some mustard on it," and he'd put it in there and then he'd wrap it for us, and that's what we'd eat. But chives is like a seasoning, says Dave. Okay, says Dale. Okay,
Yep. Yep.
but yeah, man,
Like I said, I don't know where this originated from. I don't know why it
it's
was a big deal on the internet, but it was just one of those like, okay, we're
it,
just it was like the Thunderdome of of sandwiches. I don't understand why it just kind of happened, but I don't
it's
know.
like it's like the question: pancakes or waffles? You know, which do you prefer, pancakes or waffles?
I mean,
So,
basically the same thing.
uh,
It's a sugary treat wrapped in syrup and butter. I'm happy either
the
way.
I the dough is made. It's a little different. The batter is thicker on the waffle, and I think it's just because of the way it's cooked inside the waffle iron. But I prefer pancakes with lots of syrup. I put a little bit of butter on mine. I'm not a big butter fan. That's like when I eat mashed potatoes. I don't put butter on my mashed potatoes anymore. I used to eat it with a lot. I don't add butter normally when we have mashed potatoes. We have coleslaw, so the coleslaw always goes on top of my mashed potatoes when we eat. So no matter, save room on the plate, but that's what I always put it on there. I never use butter for that. And Rusty, French toast, we don't have that very often, but yes, I love French toast too.
Mm-hmm. Now
And
that
I'm not a
everybody
big
is one.
lobster fan, munchies. I can't stand. I'm not a big seafood fan, so
And now that we have officially made everybody hungry here tonight,
Yeah, right. I'm gonna get a snack here, and I gotta go take my insulin when I'm done and get my water filled up because I drank my water empty tonight. So I was talking.
oh my goodness. All right. Well, now that I'm officially hungry as well, let's go ahead and wrap things up. Last and final segment here called That's a Silage Wrap. First off, Bruce's Gaming. Bruce, I want to thank you so very, very much for coming out here tonight. Had an absolute blast out here with you tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. Was that the second and third time you finally twisted my arm hard enough to where I decided to do it. So thank you for having me out here. Big shout out to Dust Bunny too. You know, I know she's not here. I haven't seen her for a while, so
she's on vacation.
She put a foot in the door for it, so
yes,
that's the truth, David.
No, so big shout out to Dust Bunny. Absolutely huge. She has been an absolute superstar here for the channel, helping out with this show as much as she possibly can. So Dust Bunny, thank you so very much for everything that you've done. And do you want to remind us where we can find you?
Yeah, Bruce's Gaming over on youtube.com. Come on over. Live Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Usually go for 2 hours. Sometimes a little longer. Depends on what we're doing. Map tours and all that. So stop on by. Hope to see you there.
Excellent. Do you have any future plans or projects in the work?
No, not right now. Nothing that I could think of, you know. I'm usually one of them fly by night type deal. If I get an idea, we'll do that. But right now it's just been like would like to start doing some more recording, but it's just been too hot. You know, my PC's in my room. I don't have AC up here, so it gets pretty blistering hot here sitting in front of the PC. So
I gotcha. Well, again, Bruce, I want to thank you so much for coming out here. And this is the time where I turn to the audience and ask, did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy the Farm Sim Talk? If you did, and you have a content creator, modder, map maker, whoever they may be that is connected in the world of Farming Simulator, and you want to see them here on Farm Sim Talk, go ahead and let me know exactly who they are, and I will do my absolute best to get them onto the show and get them to participate, get them into the interview. Like I said, reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, X, Discord, any one of my social medias. I will do my absolute best to get them onto the show here. And yeah, the only requirement that I have is that they are over the age of 18. Don't want anybody who is below the age of 18 for obvious reasons. But no, like I said, had an absolute blast here with you tonight here, Bruce. Thank you again so much for coming out. And if everybody enjoyed it, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing that shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care. Bruce, hang on until after the outro and I will connect with you on the other side.
All right. Peace out, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Take care, everyone.
This is Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Let's roll. Out here in the country, where the roads run wide, there's a world behind the pixels that we're bringing to the light. From maps to mods to the rigs we drive, we're talking to the folks who keep this farm life alive. It's Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Come pull up a chair and ride along with me. Stories from the makers, the builders of the scene. Farm Sim Talk, where we live the farming dream. He's got questions rolling like a big John Deere, digging deep with modders so their voices we can hear. From giants of the coast with